Okay, we're going to show you how to set up your website the first time for Google Analytics. If you don't already have a Google account, you're going to need to create one. And there's another video that shows you how to create a Google account just for your business. In this particular case, I'm using my Google account I have already created for my business called True Crime Diaries at Gmail, okay? And you want to sign in under that. As you can see, I've also got my other websites on there. But for now, I'm just going to show you how to do analytics separately for one website, okay, for a new website. So you want to go to analytics.google.com. Really? Yeah, it probably helps if I spell it right. Google.com. Okay. And it's going to say, I don't know who you are. Let's set you up. And you go, okay, cool. So set up for free. This is what you're going to look for in your tracking ID. So you're going to want to name it pretty much what your website is. You can combine your Google Analytics under and have more than one website on there. I don't recommend it because usually when you have more than one website, you want them to be totally, completely separate and showing different kind of entities, right? And you want to kind of keep them separate. You can do it without a doubt, and you simply add a new property. But in this particular case, we're going to do it as if it's a brand new one. So the account name in this case is going to be True Crime Diaries, okay? The sharing suggestions, I usually leave these just at default because they are recommended. It gives you a little more control over your data as far as who gets to have your data, things like that. If you don't share any of your data, it's going to be kind of hard for analytics to do anything for you, okay? So click next, and it says, what do you want to measure? Do you want to measure apps? No. We want to measure the web. We want to measure our particular website. So you click web and next, and give it your website name, right? Complete website name. Well, I'm sorry, that's the next line. Give it the name of your website, and then if you have HTTPS enabled, make sure you click the box. TrueCrimeDiaries.com. Put your industry. I am in the industry of entertainment, but I don't want to put that. Online communities. Whatever your time zone is. I happen to be in the wonderful central United States, so Chicago is my time zone. And create. It's going to talk about your analytics terms and conditions, and you need to remember that Google does track a lot of your data when you do this. Everybody uses it. It's okay. It does not track personal things. It simply tracks things like the country that they're from and the websites that they go to and things of that nature. And this is standard and accepted across most platforms. It also helps with your affiliates. So if you are trying to make money on your blog, you'll also, be able to use that for your affiliates. In the event you ever want to use advanced advertising like Monumetric or anything like that, this is the place you're going to go, and this is where they're going to get their information from. So you definitely have to accept these to be able to use those. So you say, okay. Now, this is entirely up to you, what you want to hear from Google about, right? I usually do, unless I have more than one website, and then I don't. So it's entirely up to you. I don't want the mobile app right now. You can search for reports. This is the important bit. This is your tracking ID. You're going to want to write that down somewhere. I put it in my Trello boards or Notion or something, that you always have. This is also the important part. This you have to put into your website, okay? So what you do is you copy all of that, right? And then you want to go to your website. And I use something like, let me show you. TrueCrimeDiaries.com/WP admin. I use something like header footer, or you can do it any way you want it, but this is the easiest way to do it. Okay, so you go down to your plugins and make sure that you have a header footer plugin installed. If you do not, we will install one. No, I do not. So we're going to add a new plugin. If you don't have it already installed, excuse me for a minute while I install mine. Um, This is the one you want, header, footer, and post injections, okay? This allows you to put extra code in, like if you have a email provider like Flowdesk, you have to put extra code in for it to work right. Make sure that you activate it. Okay. Now that it's activated, you should be able to go under settings, and there it is, header and footer, okay? And so you remember that piece that we copied? We want it on every single page. Isn't that what it said? Every single page is the first item into the head of every web page you want to track. Okay? So I put it here so that I can put it on every single page. In the event that you only want it on the home page or you want to accept some, you can absolutely do that. But to begin with, you want it on every single page, and all you do is copy that in and save. Now you're running analytics. Now it's going to take about 24 hours or so for this to show up, for this to start showing up in your Google Analytics. And the things you're going to want to look for in your Google Analytics, of course, are some of your insights, like how many users, how many sessions. You can see users right now. You can see page views, which of course it's not going to show me. I don't have any on here, and it's not really active yet. Okay, but it will show you number of screen views. Another thing that you can do is in your website data in here, and I'll have to look this up and cut this part out probably. I believe it's under settings somewhere. Oh, admin. Okay. You want to filter. You want to add a filter that is going to filter out your particular IP address. And there's a reason for that, and I'll explain that in a second. So you want to filter, I just put my IP, okay? You can exclude traffic from certain IP addresses from a host name. You can do that just from your computer or a certain IP address or the ISP domain. I use this, and the reason I use this is because I go to my router and I find out what my external address is, okay? And because if you do an IP, check your IP right now, it's going to tell you probably what your personal IP is. See, this is giving me that in the, let's see, address. Yeah. It's not showing it. What IP is, yeah, I don't know that. There it is, right there. It's going to give me my IP address. Now, this IP address is actually the one that is at my router, okay? So this is the one that goes out. That means that anything inside here in my house, it's going to exclude. That's a good thing because otherwise you get false traffic. So what I did is I went to iplocation.net and then I clicked on the hide IP with a VPN, and it will give you your IP address right here. And that's the number that I'm going to put in there. So you want to go back to Analytics, and right down here you want to put that in there without that final period. All right? And then you want to save it. Didn't I say exclude? Exclude traffic. Oh, from IP addresses that are equal to. Okay, my bad. So you want to exclude traffic from the location that's equal to what I just said. This is what it looks like. Exclude traffic from the IP addresses that are equal to this IP address. Okay? And that way, all of those will be excluded and they will not count in my Google Analytics. The reason you want to do that is because your Google Analytics, you do not want it to have false representation. And what I mean by that is every time you go to a website to fix something or to look at something, I mean, how many times do I, when I'm working on a theme, right, and I make a change and then I go look at the website, and then I make another change and I go look at the website, right? Well, you don't want those to count as page views because they're really not. And that could give you some false information that you're really not doing as well as you think, or you're doing better than you think, okay? So know that what you see on here is other people, not yourself. And that's the reason for that. The other thing that you do is set up your Google search. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. Search google.com. Google search console. Hold on, search console. Okay, so you want to set up your search console, and that is search.google.com/search-console, okay? And you do that the same way. Start now. You give it your domain. And the difference in these two, I'll tell you in just a moment. TrueCrimeDiaries.com. URL prefix. That basically means that anything under a specified prefix. So this one is your domain and all subdomains. This one might be anything under your URL that is a specified protocol, and that's really advanced stuff you don't even need to worry about. But it allows for like two-factor authentication and some other things like that you really don't need to know about for the purposes of your blog. So over on this side, domain, HTTPS, the name of your domain. Continue. Continue, I said. Select a property type. Read protocols and paths. Oh. So you put just the name of your domain in here, okay? Just the name. You don't put HTTPS or anything like that. Just the name of your domain. You click continue. It's going to give you some information that you have to do as well. Now you have to go to your DNS provider and fix this. My DNS provider is Cloudflare. But basically, any of them are going to do this. So you copy this and you create what's called a TXT record. So in my particular instance, I go to, well, I don't think I did. I'm sorry, Big Scoots. I'll have to log into my hosting provider. I happen to use Big Scoots, and so that's where I go. Most often than not, you're going to go what's called a control panel. And more often than not, you're going to go to your DNS zone. But in my case, I use something else called Cloudflare. So this is, if you have Cloudflare, this is how you have to do it. You go into Cloudflare, and you go into, I may have to go on the other way. Let's see. Change this to True Crime Diaries. Settings. It's not provisioned. Okay, good. I don't use it in Cloudflare. Skip this section. So you want to go back to your control panel and you want to look for DNS zones. There's zone backups. That's not it. DNS zone editor. Okay? You click there and you want to filter it by domain. So in my case, I want to look for True Crime Diaries, and I click Manage. Okay? And then up here, I want to click Add Record, and I want to add a TXT record. See that? TXT record. And I just called this txt.truecrimediaries.com. And then the text is right here. Okay? All right. Then I go back to my Google Search Console and give it a couple of minutes and click Verify. And it says we can't find it. Sometimes it takes a while. So give it an hour or so and this should be okay. All right? It does take a while, and I'm not going to bore you with the details here. So instead, what we're going to do is go to my other domain, search google.com, search console, and show you what this actually does. So I changed my account. Oh, come on, that's not the right one, obviously. Nope. Why is it not working? And then this is the type of thing that you get, all right? This also shows you your performance and things like that. But there are other things that your search console will do for you, such as URL inspection. It will allow you to inspect any URL in my domain. Let's try this one. Best website hosting for WordPress. And it's going to give me specific data on just that website. In this case, it says, hey, I don't have that one. I wonder why. So I'm going to request indexing, and it's going to try to index it and find that particular one. I don't know why it's not on there. Bridges. I don't know if that is or not. I despise these things. Okay. So the other thing you can look at is sitemaps. And this is going to see, if you've already got sitemap, it's going to show you here. it was submitted on this date, but as you can see, it was last indexed here. If you don't have one, then you submit one, okay? So I call it sitemap XML, right? Sitemap XML, and submit. And it's going to go out and submit your sitemap. And what that means is it's going to go out and, I said XML, that's okay. It's going to go out and look at all of your stuff, all of your, yeah, I know, I got to get that out of there. All of the things to find your sitemaps, right? To make sure that all of the things on your website are submitted to your sitemap, and that's what it will do. So that's sitemaps. Let me remove this sitemap. Okay. But the Google Search Console is going to show you a lot of things. It will show you some of your valid and your excluded or invalid things in some cases. It will show you your speed, how your mobile comes up, right? Mobile usability. I have 31 valid mobile usability. That's pretty darn good. So forth and so on. So this is just something for you to kind of play around with when you want. But that's a little bit about it, and that's how you get it all set up. Now it's just a matter of waiting. Check back with this in just a couple of days and see if you can actually, if it will actually work for you. And this one does. Okay. So there you have it. Have a nice time, and I'll see you in the next video.